Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Tarot with Training Wheels. This is lesson number 2. Oh my gosh. Okay, lesson number 2. Let's talk tarot structure. So this is like basic stuff, and it's really important to have a general idea of how it works so that you can further understand how to work with the tarot as we go through. In my opinion, there are actually 6 major areas of the tarot, although you'll commonly hear it said that there are 5. So let me talk about the traditional way of looking at it, and then I'm going to share with you how I view it a little differently. First of all, the most impactful part of the tarot, the part of the tarot that seems to carry the most weight in a reading and in general, like understanding of the tarot, is the major arcana. These are the cards numbered 0 through 21 that begin with the Fool and end in the World. And in this major arcana, you're going to find really well-known cards like the Hermit, Death, the Tower. These are the cards that really signify the big life-changing kind of moments in life where we experience these big energies. Just these 22 cards encompass really all areas of a life well lived and lessons learned. You can break down any project, and if you're creative, any book that you read, any movie, down into the 22 technically cards of the major arcana, because these all are universal archetypes that apply to a wide variety of situations. If you didn't already know, the book that I wrote, The Self-Worth Path, A Guided Journey to an Empowered Life, I fashioned all 21 chapters of that book around tarot's major arcana because it's just a great overall system for looking at the world or looking at a journey. If you've ever heard of Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, that's kind of a similar idea. The major arcana is often referred to as the Fool's Journey because you really have the Fool, who is key 0, who sort of exists separately from the rest of the tarot cards, and you kind of have the Fool going through all of these major stages that are represented by the 21 other cards of the major arcana. The Fool meets the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, in this deck called the High Priest, the Lovers, the Chariot, Strength, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, in this deck, oh, it's still called the Wheel. Yep. Justice, the Hanged Man, Death, the Feralt. Now this is Temperance, Cernunnos, also the Devil in many tarot decks, Tower, Star, Moon, Sun, Judgment, and the World. The thing about the major arcana is that once you have a general grasp on what each of these energies is all about, you can easily expand upon them and apply them to lots of different situations. I think one of the things that makes tarot such an effective tool is that between the major arcana, which is that first major section, and the rest of the deck, you have the energy of any kind of or any part of life. And that's what makes it such a flexible, balanced system all by itself. Speaking of balance, before I get into the rest of the tarot structure that I'm about to talk about, we should make a little comment here about upright meanings and reversed meanings. So some tarot readers like to shuffle reversals into their cards, meaning that the way they shuffle, some of the cards might come out upside down. If this happens to you, you could then read the card a little bit differently. I really feel like reversals is an area to expand into if you're interested, but it's not the best starting place because it doubles what you need to learn about the tarot instead of simply just learning the balance system as it exists naturally. The 78 cards have a natural balance to them, which you will find as we go through the 78 cards in this course. But for now, let's just say we're going to leave reversals off to the side for now and just look at the 78 energies as they exist normally. So the major arcana, the first major part of the tarot. And then you have the minor arcana, which consists of 4 suits. And these are the other 4 parts to the tarot. You have the Wands suit, traditionally associated with the element of fire. And fire, and all of that it associates with, is what area of life the Wand suit will cover. You have the Cups suit, which is associated with the element of water and covers all the things that water will associate with. And we'll get into this, don't worry. But for now, just know that we have Wands, we have Cups, fire, water. We have Swords, which are air. And swords encompass that whole side of life. And we have the Pentacles, which is earth and encompasses the earthly side of life. Now, if you know anything about the 4 elements, you might have heard about a 5th element. And some people like to associate the major arcana with element 5, spirit. So really, all 5 major components of the tarot deck are aligned with each of those 5 elements, which I think is a really cool thing to remember. And simply having a general understanding of the elements will certainly help you in your quest to have a working knowledge of the tarot. Now, that's the traditional way of looking at it. Major arcana, wands, swords, cups, pentacles. I think there's a 5th category, and here's how I like to view it. The major arcana, yes. Swords, cups, wands, and pentacles, yes. But I like to take their ace through 10 numbered cards and look at them a little differently. And then the tarot court cards, all 16 of them from all 4 suits, to me that's a 5th area of tarot. Because the major arcana looks at the broad strokes, big moments in life. The minor arcana, numbered ace through 10, look at the smaller moments in life, the everyday struggles, trials, tribulations, joys, successes that we are moving through. And the court cards look at the people, the personality types, and the personal energies that we and others around us bring to the table. They have a very different energy, the court cards, and so I do treat them a little differently than I treat the rest of the minor arcana. So to me, in my opinion, it's major arcana, wands, cups, swords, pentacles, and court cards. Now, either of those methods for understanding the basic structure of the tarot is going to be a great working start for you in understanding how a tarot deck is built. But for this lesson, that's really all you need to know, is that there is a structure, and that structure exists for a reason. It's why snobby tarot readers like me like to say that if a deck exists out in the world that doesn't follow this structure, maybe it has the majors and the minors but no court cards, or maybe it has the majors and most of the minors, or maybe it's reworked the majors but it still has the minors and it still sometimes has court cards. You start to get away from the basic structure of tarot, and to me, and others who think like me, that suddenly feels less like a tarot deck and more like an oracle deck that's kind of like a tarot deck, but isn't really a tarot deck. And you can view this any way that you want, and I love some of those decks. Decks like the Dreams of Gaia Tarot have completely revamped the major arcana. There's extra majors, there's different stages represented in the majors, and they've reworked the court cards, and so they're different. Is it still a tarot? Arguably, it could be. But it's different and it can be confusing. So for starters, if you're just getting used to learning the tarot and working with the tarot, stick with a deck that follows the basic structure, because that is going to create a foundation for you to learn. So do a little check-in with yourself and check what decks you own now. This is a great little homework assignment. If you own more than one deck, and ideally you have at least one for this course, but if you own more than one, pull them out. Make sure that they follow that structure. And if they don't, maybe just set them aside for a little while for a separate study later. You really want to have some decks in your collection or in your library of tarot if you've started amassing more than one, as so many of us do. And you really want to make sure that if you're learning, that you stick to the ones that follow the basic structure, at least in the beginning while you're still getting your feet under you. So that is today's homework. Take a look at the decks that you do have, see which ones follow the structure and which ones break from it, and just make a little mental inventory. And maybe the ones that break from tradition, just set them aside for tackling once you've gotten really comfortable with the basic tarot structure. All right, you guys, that is it for lesson number 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do remember to click the like on this video and subscribe if you're new here. Don't forget to click the little bell so you have notifications turned on and are notified when my future videos come out. And remember, if you are enjoying Tarot with Training Wheels, I do have a much more in-depth course on my website called Tarot Bootcamp for Beginners. A link to that will be in the description box down below. Don't worry, it's a totally separate standalone thing, just like Tarot with Training Wheels is a standalone thing. But I would love to see you over there too. For now though, thank you so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye guys.